We're here with Steve McLendon, veteran defensive tackle with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who is about to play in Super Bowl 55, and we have him here on Pro Lacrosse Talk. Steve, thank you for joining us today. Before the big game, how are things right now?
And we're singular focused on the task at hand right now. Everything is so exciting, but we have to understand, don't get too emotional, don't get too high right now. Just continue to finish the process, and everything will take care of itself come Sunday at 6:30. I know every guy in here, coaches, the female and the male coaches, we are all excited about this opportunity. We're all super thankful, and we all have put in so much work to get to this point. So we all looking forward to Sunday, and like I said, man, we're just all excited to get going.
Yeah, I know. How are your nerves right now? I mean, are you approaching it like any other game, or are you a little bit more nervous than usual?
I mean, my nerves are pretty much the same, but you're just more excited than normal, because in fact this is the biggest stage of our lives right now, um, and you don't want to look past this moment. You want to live in the moment. You want to love this moment because this moment doesn't come often, and we just want to be super thankful for this moment. But yeah, the nerves pretty much stay the same. You just lock in more. You focus even more. You just those the fine details. The fine details of what got you here. You just have to make sure you hone in on those things, and finish with those things.
Absolutely.
Yep. No, that makes complete sense. We're excited to see it hit the field come Sunday. But we also want to talk about kind of your trajectory in your career. You know, you played your college ball at Troy, then signed as an undrafted free agent with the Steelers. You made a name for yourself in Pittsburgh, and you were part of that squad that made the Super Bowl in 2010. Talk about your journey as a pro football player and to get to this point today.
My journey is a beautiful one, man.
Yeah.
I never think it was something hard, but it was the obstacles that I had to go through. I enjoy every single moment of it. It has taught me so much. It has taught me how to be humble. It has taught me how to work extremely hard. It taught me how to stay focused. It's taught me how to stay driven, and it has helped me understand that you only have one life to live. So make sure you live it to the fullest.
No, I love that. And, fast forward to here, you're playing with the Jets at the time that were winless. You get the call that you're being traded to the Buccaneers, who are, were a contender midway through the season. Head coach Bruce Arians was the offensive coordinator during your time at Pittsburgh, during that Super Bowl run. Funny story, actually, my grandmother was good friends with Bruce Arians' mom, and she actually found out that he was going to Tampa Bay before the rest of the football world did. Very funny story. They were in the nursing home together, and I thought that was a really funny story. But talk to me about being traded to the contending Bucs, reunited a little bit with Todd Bowles too, who's the coach of the Jets for some of your time. How big was that for you to kind of go on to a contender?
For me, my goal has never changed. My mindset has never changed. The one goal that I always had was to play in the Super Bowl. And that, even when I was in New York, I screenshotted a picture of the trophy and the flag of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a Zoom call in the beginning of the season. And I said, I'll be playing there. That's for me is the confirmation for me. It's always that affirmation of believing in myself that I can do it. I will do it. We will do it. I didn't know I would end up here. Looking at that picture, when I ended up getting traded, that picture popped back up in my memory in my phone. And I was like, the time is now. The opportunity is here. You will have an opportunity, so make sure you put your best foot forward. And just all around, playing back with Coach Bowles, Casey Rogers, those guys, BA, Larry Foote, just so many of the guys. It's just having that opportunity just to be a part of something that's making history right now. It's a beautiful thing here with the coaches, a beautiful thing here with the players. The culture here is strong. We're like brothers here. The guys accepted me very well when I came in. They listened to me when I came in. So it's just another beautiful thing, another beautiful story that I can tell my kids 10 years from now. I started at a place of only striving to be at where I'm at today. And nobody can tell you no. You control your own fate. You put the work in. Anything that you want to accomplish, you can. I tell my kids always, I was like, man, you just continue to work hard, and whatever you put in, you will get out. I'm a true believer in that. If you stay focused, you stay driven, understand you have one life to live, you can accomplish absolutely anything. And also, with that being said, you have to train the same or you will remain the same. And I really realized that over the years, I would train every year, off season, in season, I would train insane because I never wanted to remain the same.
That's awesome. And you mentioned your kids, they're big fans of lacrosse. We are a lacrosse podcast, obviously. So talk about kind of how you got interested in lacrosse. Was it through your kids?
It was. My oldest son, me and him was like, we always work out together. He's 11 now. And at the time, I think he was 8. It was like 8 or 9. I want to say 9 because he only been playing for going on 2.5 years. So we was walking on the football field, and after we just finished working out, he's like, Dad, I can play that sport. I said, we never seen this sport before. He said, I can play it. I was like, all right, I'll sign you up. I signed him up. The first year he made All-Stars. Then the second year, he had a fall season, then he went into the spring season. He was offered to come try out for a travel club, which is a really, really good travel club. And he ended up making the team. And he started doing some amazing things. Like I tell him all the time, I said, man, something that I never seen, a sport that I never saw before. I said, man, you're gifted at it. Like all I can do is try to help you build on it. I reach out to many of the lacrosse guys as I know. I study the game as much as I do with football because of the strength of my kids. Yeah. And since they were going to play it, I want to make sure that I can help them in any way possible. And I felt like for my son to start playing and open up a lot of doors for a lot of other kids to start playing as well, because a lot of, especially for the African-American kids, where we're from, nobody's never seen the sport or never played. So I was showing them that, and this is a sport that you can play as well, and it's very fun. And it's more, I tell them it's the sport, this is the ultimate sport. You know, football they always say it's the ultimate sport, but lacrosse is like 10 sports in one. You know, you have your soccer, you have your football, you have your basketball, you have your baseball. You know, you just, you know what I mean? You got to have that endurance. It's just so much that goes into lacrosse. You have to have that focus. You got to have that drive, like that eye coordination. You have to compete. Not only do you compete, you got to work together, communicate. So when I seen that all those things, I was like, you know what? This is absolutely a great sport, and I'm glad that my son is playing because he plays other sports as well. But lacrosse helped him with basketball because he does like the jump ball, so it helps him with the face-off. Sure. You know, just being able to go one-on-one with somebody, and just like in basketball, the only thing is he's still picking up the dribbling, but he's okay with starting at the top, and the goal is at the bottom. So he's a midi and attackman and a defender as well as of right now. He's pretty much doing it all. So I was like, it's pretty much the same, man. Just look at it as that. You're still on the same court. It's just a ball. And with the lacrosse, you just have a stick. I said, just understand, like, you can transition a bit, but it even helped even more in football because his endurance and his field skills were so amazing. And I told him, if you can see that little ball, just imagine what you can see when you see that big ball.
No, that's awesome. Well, since you never got to play the sport, but you've been watching so much, what position of choice would you choose right now if you had to play?
Me personally, it had to be defender because I'm a defensive guy right now, so it had to be a defender. But I couldn't do the midi because that's the most running I ever see. And I'm not really an offensive guy. When I was younger, I liked the offense, but I also love the defense. I feel like you can score on defense too because you can take the ball just like interception. You can get an interception and you can just take it all the way back and score. So I think, and plus I like to hit people. So I think most of the guys would be defender. Yep.
Yeah. Sticking with the defense. I appreciate that. I was a goalie, so always like the defensive side of the ball.
Oh yeah.
No, that's great. And you know, you talked about you making connections with a lot of, people in the lacrosse space. And one of them you did was Jake with Wolf Athletics. You guys attended the PLO event in Atlanta in 2019, and they had their pull-up competition where they had one of their shafts. Yeah. Talk to me about that competition that you participated in and your connection with Jake.
So when I first seen it, he was like, "This stick will not break." I was like, so when I grabbed and I felt like a little man, he told me, if it break, I give you a free stick. I was like, oh, I'm gonna show you that it doesn't break. So when I started pulling up on it, it's like it got stronger. Then I did a few pull-ups on it. I was like, nah, this stick is not breaking at all. I was like, this is the most amazing stick. then my son was looking for a good stick at the time, and I was like, I have a perfect stick for you, and that's how we end up building that relationship, man. Basically, all off a pull up.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and we appreciate the Jake at Wolf Athletics for organizing this interview as well. Now, last season you wore a PLL Redwoods jersey to the Jets game on Monday Night Football. I'm curious, are you a Redwoods fan? Is that your favorite team, or is that just that happened to be the jersey that you picked?
No, so like I end up becoming real close with Matt. I always pronounce his last name wrong. Kavanagh.
Yep, all good.
Kavanagh, yeah. Yep.
I always pronounce it wrong. But me and him started talking, and when I was in New Jersey, man, and just like real cool guy, man. And I was just like, you know what, cool with me. And I was, I started talking to him more off the field, some stuff that he gave me some stuff that my son could do. Then I found out he was a Jets fan. I was like, man, this is even for me. Like, he was a big Jet fan, and I was like, well, I'm a big lacrosse fan, so we ended up basically doing a jersey swap. He got a jersey of mine, and he ended up getting me. He got me a real lacrosse jersey made with my number and everything on it. And I was like, man, it's one of the most amazing things ever. And I told him, I said, listen, man, I'm wearing this to the game.
Nice.
He's like, are you serious? I said, I'm wearing this to the game. And that's what I wore to the game.
That's amazing. No, the lacrosse Twitter went crazy when that was released and we saw you wearing that jersey. So everyone was really excited about that. But kind of let's transition to other ventures that you have. Obviously, other than being a pro athlete, you started Team MVP Gym, where MVP stands for McLendon Vision Performance. Talk about why you really decided to start MVP and what differentiates that gym from the rest.
Well, for me personally, man, it was always to uplift and help others. I live by a code called the Focus Driven Life Code. And I understood if you focus focus means follow one course until successful. It's an acronym. Then driven means dreams remain in vision every day and night, which is also an acronym. And life means living faith every day. So, and I started realizing, so if you focus on your driven will become your life. So that basically saying if you focus on your dreams become your life. And I wanted to be able to motivate and uplift and encourage not just athletes, not just males, but females and parents and just the general population as well, to anything you put your mind to that you can accomplish. Anything. I heard someone say the other day, we have 73 trillion cells in our body. 73 trillion cells in our body. And one negative thing can make you shut down the whole system. But it takes so long for a positive to build it up. So I always started thinking, like, why feed into negativity when there's so much negativity going in the world? Mm-hmm. What can I do that's positive but I can feed into the world as positivity? And the gym started building up with me. This was a process over 8-year process. And once I started seeing the vision clear, I was like, that's the name, Team MVP Gym.
That's awesome. Are we going to see any lacrosse players coming through the gym anytime soon?
Oh, most definitely.
Love it. No, I really think that's great that you're kind of giving back and building the next generation of athletes. And my final question, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about Tom Brady appearing in his 10th Super Bowl. What has it been like playing with Tom Brady? How's the team really bought in this year, headed into Super Bowl 55?
Man, first and foremost, Tom Brady is absolutely amazing. Great teammate, great man, great guy. And the biggest thing, what I seen after the game last week, the other week when we played Green Bay, he went straight to the stands to hug his son. So that lets me know he's a great father as well. Just to play alongside a man that comes in every day, day in and out, with that same mindset of being a champion and work hard, very hard, it's just absolutely amazing. And it makes you, as another man, it makes you want to work just as hard because you see someone else putting in the exact same work, but even more. And like, he don't take this thing lightly. And we see that as teammates, as brothers, and as just players as well. And just said, like you said, everybody's super excited. It's his 10th. It's his 10th. It's my 10th year since I've been back.
Mm-hmm.
It is essentially a home game for us. It is history for us, but that's the biggest thing, man. A lot of us are making history this weekend and never want to shy away from history. So we just have to make sure we do the necessary things, man, to finish it off with the W. But don't want to look past the day, want to stay focused on the day,
yep.
and just make sure every moment that we enjoy it and love that moment, and whatever happens at the end happens.
No, that's great. No, we certainly are looking forward to watching you guys play in the big game. Steve, thank you again for making the time and joining us. We love what you're doing with the lacrosse community and how you're kind of paying it forward, and, you know, getting your sons involved, I think was great. And hopefully we get more people involved too from this interview, because that's the goal, is to grow the game of lacrosse.
It's most definitely growing.
Yeah.
I'm pushing. I can say this. I probably have about 20 kids. I introduced about 20 kids, even some kids that had stopped playing because they had going into high school, and their high school didn't offer it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, man, you do know they have travel clubs. And he picked the stick back up and he went and tried out, got a little discouraged. I said, so if somebody give you an answer no once, you're just gonna quit and give up? I was like, what are my code, and where's the code in the gym? Mm-hmm. I said, focus-driven life. If this is something that you want, don't give up on it. He ended up going to try out for another club, ended up making the team. Now he's back playing lacrosse. So I have probably over 20 kids that are playing, and just amazing for me. And I try to go watch all of them play.
That's awesome.
And in the midst of watching mine play, I'm going to watch all. I'm out in the summertime, all season. I'll get all the kids that I coach, that I'm around, that play lacrosse. I ask their parents, and I know a lot of parents be like, "Why are you coming to my son's game?" Like, man, I just want these kids to understand that it's just bigger. As an athlete, athletes have to understand we have to stay together and we have to support each other. Mm-hmm. And for me, I want to show these younger athletes about working together, sticking together with one another. We compete on the field, but off the field, we have to still be one, because we lose ourselves sometimes in the mental effect from identity crisis because we don't know who we are off the field. Mm-hmm. So what I started doing, just showing them who I am off the field, and then showing them that love that they can be the exact same way. You can learn how to transition from on the field to off the field, and that's one of the biggest things for me. I want to make sure that I uplift them and keep them healthy, not just in the body, but in the mind as well.
Yep.
No, I love that. And I love what you said, focus, dream, and life. That's great advice, I think, for, a younger generation of athletes. But Steve, we appreciate the time. Again, best of luck this Sunday in the Super Bowl, and we're pulling for you.
Appreciate it.